Hey, Luke, when it comes to signage, how have you found vandalism?
Oh, it's been mental. It's a full-time job to be honest. I found signs up in creeks, up in trees, nailed to people's backyards, selling fruits and just yeah, it's been crazy. But luckily, the community is so helpful and they've been calling, being like, oh, it's 8 meters down a creek somewhere. Yeah, so I've had to go buy some gum boots, but yeah, it's been fun.
Because that stuff's not cheap either. Like, your signage would have cost quite a fair bit of money.
Yeah, well, it ends up being about $25 a sign by the time you do do two stakes on it. And yeah, people are just damaging them. Luckily, I've had no graffiti or no mustaches. But yeah, it's frustrating because, to be honest, I would be happy not doing signs because, I think they're an eyesore and they're painful. But at the end of the day, it's something you've got to have in an election. So it's the same with when yeah, and also I've heard it's not young people doing it either. I literally was driving on the road and saw probably a 70-year-old pull over, hop out of the car, get the sign out, chuck it in a tree and drive off. So it's not young people doing it. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's a full-time job. I'm spending 3 hours a day doing laps. But yeah.
It's so interesting.
Pretty brazen of a lady just jumping out the car and ripping your sign out and chucking in her boot of her car. Wow.
She must like you. Hey, we do have some questions to be asking you. So
Yeah.
if Tara, I'll let you ask Luke some questions.
Luke, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Luke Strochnetter. I've lived in Hervey Bay since I was 7, originally from Tasmania, but don't hold that against me, wasn't my choice. Lived in Hervey Bay all my life, since I've moved here. I've grown up here, done primary schooling, high schooling. I've run businesses here. The last 5 years I've run 2 businesses, a marketing business and a picnic business. From the age of 12, I've been out doing community events. I was on the Relay for Life as a committee member for many years. I've done family fun days at Seafront Oval, trivia nights, camping weekends, and recently, of course, I'm a coordinator for the Hervey Bay Carols by Candlelight, so I've done that for the last 3 years as a volunteer, completely organising the whole event. So we just had 8,000 people in December. So yeah, I've always been very involved in the community. I was vice chair of the Fraser Coast Youth Advisory Council, which really gave me the spark to run for council. So yeah, I love community. I help run a youth group every Friday. I love Chamber of Commerce. I speak there often. I'm a member. Yeah, so very involved. And in my spare time, I just love hanging with friends, cooking, and hanging out right here in Division 10.
Luke, if you were elected, what do you hope to achieve?
Yeah, so the main thing I really want to do is better communication for the community, because the main thing I've heard from people when I'm door knocking and chatting to people is, who is our current councillor? And I think that's wrong in my opinion. So I just want to be I really want to see better communication, because people are really losing trust with council, I feel, in my opinion, because a lot of the time they don't know the why behind things are done, why things are done. So I feel like I want to help bring better communication. I'd love to see more transparency, especially in Division 10, so people know where they can find me. Where they can find me, when they can find me, and how they can find me, and of course using social media as a tool. As well, I want to see activation and growth of the areas in Division 10. You know, we have some of the best hotspots in town. Rangan Pier, the Marina Precinct, Botanic Gardens, Damon Park, and they haven't really been advocated for. They've kind of just sat there looking pretty, and they've got so much more potential to get families outside. So I'd love to see a Botanic Gardens master plan, because, you know, we've got the Harvey Bay Neighbourhood Centre and Bendigo Bank wanting to invest around 100 grand in the gardens and doing a story trail, but they're not willing to do that if there's not a master plan. That shows that council is invested in our open spaces, because last year there was only 18,000 people visiting the Botanic Gardens, and in 2 weeks, when the neighbourhood centre did their Christmas trail, they had 20,000 people through the door. So people really want to get outside, they want to see our natural spaces, have events outside. So that's something I really want to push for. And then, especially in Division 10, we need to get our roads sorted. There's so many roads that either are dangerous or they're getting fixed, but they're getting fixed wrong, and we're having to redo them 2 or 3 times. For example, the infamous Ann Street and Bow Harbour Drive intersection. We've got the Elizabeth Street speed hump. We've got Shell Street, where someone died 2.5 years ago, and the residents are still fighting to get something done. I met with around 40 of them, and a lot of them can't even reverse out of their driveway without being scared of being hit by a car. And, you know, council are saying there's no issue. So it's that sort of stuff I really want to advocate for and see done. We've just, like, as much as we've got to move forward with all the crazy new projects, we've got to get back to basics. And yeah.
Luke, just I'm going to ask these 2 questions together. In council, you'll need 4 of the votes to achieve anything in the chamber. How will you build trust with your fellow councillors? In other words, what's the best way to be a team player?
Yeah, you know, I think being a team player is so important, and that's something I've had to learn in business, in running projects. Like, you can go far alone, but when you're with people who think like you, who have a vision, you can go so much further together if you just support each other. So I think it's about listening to people, it's about listening to your colleagues, and, you know, it's being quick to listen and slow to respond. And, you know, I just think being able to realise, like, we're all there for the same reason. We're all there hopefully because we love the Fraser Coast. Our heart is for the Fraser Coast. And, you know, sometimes it can get messy and we all have differing opinions, but we've got to be able to respect each other, and that's something I really value and I want to bring to the table. We've just got to respect each other as people. We've got to respect differing views, and we've got to be willing to understand why people think the way they think and why they have their perspective. What have they gone through, whether it's residents or people in the chamber. And it's also important to build relationships. Like, I'm lucky to know and have relationships with probably 90% of the current councillors and candidates. You know, I've had meetings with loads of them, I've had coffee with loads of them, because it's important to have relationships. You know, you can't go into something like this alone. So that's something I've been really intentional about, because we can make a difference if we work together. And I think that's what the community is really hungry for. They want to see more cohesion and more teamwork. And I think it's incredibly important, and it's something I'm really passionate about, because, you know, especially I do a lot of work with young people, and sometimes people just need someone to get around them and be like, you can do this. And yeah, so I love team. I am a team player, and yeah.
And Rolf, where are you joining us from today?
Yes, thank you for that. I'm actually here at the Urangan Pier Markets. I've been setting up here, or the Torquay Markets, for the last several months. So coming live from Division 10, and I just love this area. This is fantastic.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Been in the Fraser Coast for 21 years. Love the area. I come from a corporate background. I've worked for large companies like DeWalt and Dulux, and also have owned 4 franchise post offices. So I've got this wealth of experience and knowledge in business, in large business and small business. I love this region, as I said before, been here for 21 years, and also served 8 years as a councillor here, which was an exciting time and really it was great to put back into the community in a proactive way. Apart from that, I've also had over 30 years of firefighting experience, proud of my 33 years of Australian Motorsport Fire Rescue and also in the New South Wales Fire Rescue and Rural Service. So, as I said before, this is a great place. I just want to make it better.
And just to be clear, you're the only person in the history of the Fraser Coast to be an interim mayor.
Yeah, well, that's true. Thank you, Stuart. Yeah, in those difficult times of the period of 2016 to 2020, I was very privileged and honoured to be appointed as an interim mayor when the where the by-election took place. So the goodwill of my colleagues, and that dovetailed as well as my being a chair of the audit committee, the finance committee, and also the chair of the LDMG.
Thank you very much. Rolf, you've been on council before. This time, what do you hope to achieve?
What I want to achieve is to bring to council, and which I've done previously, a sense of business experience and knowledge. We have the biggest budget in the region. We've got $430 million. And I know that people look at local government being the third level, but we have the most immediate effect on day-to-day people's lives. So that business experience, living in a commercial, competitive environment, let's cut the red tape, let's roll out the red carpet, let's be the go-to region for people wanting to grow businesses and employment. Additionally, I want to bring also that guidance and that experience to council. I believe the next 4 years will be a keystone for the next 30 or 40 years in the Fraser Coast. The amount of development and growth has to be managed in a very fine balance. Door knocking in Cypress Street, people are receiving letters of offer from developers getting their blocks for extending out from the Esplanade. This is going to be a very difficult and trying 4 years getting that business right. Additionally, I've made a commitment, and it's not a hollow commitment. I'm replicating what I did in Division 5. I will be setting up a divisional office at my own cost, not a cost to the community, because what people are telling me in Division 10 is they want a representative that can be contactable, can be approachable, and listen to their issues. I've got a track record of solving issues, and you do that through relationships in council and through that trust and confidence of your colleagues.
In council, you'll need 5 other votes to achieve anything in the chamber. How will you build trust with your fellow councillors? So this is a teamwork question. How are you a team player?
What you need to do in council is to build that relationship up. And I think I've got a track record of doing that. In the 2016-20, this region faced a very, very tough time with the elected council. And we all know the history of that, with a mayor being sacked and a new mayor and by-elections and things like that. I think that I did that through respect and guidance and maturity. And the goodwill was that I was appointed as the interim mayor. You do it also having the knowledge around portfolios and the subjects, and people, I should say your colleagues and the executive, have that trust in you, have that ability for you to guide them and help them in that decision-making process. The other thing too, I've always said, one of the most contagious things that you can have is genuine passion and enthusiasm. I think I display that a lot, and that is contagious.
Just want to say congratulations. Big signage game. Big signage game.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. The truck has helped very well too. I've been everywhere.
So, Rolf, what was your strategies in relation to signage?
Look, Stuart, at the end of the day, name up the top. Down the bottom is the division. I'm assuming people know that I want to vote, I want vote 1. So I necessarily don't put vote 1 on it. Very clear picture, and less is more.
Absolutely. Now, are you a 5 mil or 3 mil guy?
Got to be 5 mil and 5 mil.
Absolutely.
Must,
5 mil.
five, must be 5 mil.
Stuart, this is just great for people to hear from our people running for election, even as a how-to guide for when they're running for election. You know, just to hear this insight, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. Can I ask a tough question now? Well, I'll ask Rolf. Rolf, I'm going to hit you right between the eyes.
Yep.
Are you going to be our mayor one day?
Stuart, you have put me in. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. My wife, Stuart, I think I've said to you, my wife did want me to run for mayor, but I have decided not to do that, obviously. I will determine in 4 years a number of factors, and there's always that possibility I might run for mayor.
Well, you certainly have run a mayoral campaign in Division 10.
I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, Stuart. It really does.
All right, guys, thanks for your time.